What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Opendoor. I want to go over some of the data points, some key levels to watch for today, and go over everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So there's roughly around 8 minutes left before the market does open, but currently Opendoor is up 0.74%, largely piggybacking off of yesterday's pretty epic day. And the reason why it went up 4.02% was because of the data. Wasn't necessarily the best, so we had non-farm payroll and so forth, and a lot of that justified a January cut, or at least improved the likelihood of that occurring. Today we did have two data points, so mortgage applications coming in at negative 3.8, mortgage market index coming in at 315. This again isn't necessarily the greatest, but despite that though, you're actually seeing most of the market fairly green, and that is because of this. So Wedbush initiates coverage on quantum computing stocks. I know some of you might be wondering and kind of saying, hey, this has absolutely no relevance to Opendoor, and you are very correct. But how Wall Street interprets Wedbush, they see them as a innovative firm, and so ultimately anything Wedbush talks about, it gets attention, and I think that's largely because of their success with Palantir and a couple other notable names. And prior to today, you had a lot of quantum stocks fairly good for the year still, but lately they've been getting hit. And so ultimately, this is seen as more of a resurge of people's appetite for risk. So again, that's going to really roll over and help Opendoor today. One thing to take notice though of is these were some of the transactions that did occur on the secondary market yesterday. We see some very big transactions: 36.5, 6.7, 6.7, 5.8, 3.9, all of which was done after hours. So it is fair to assume that big money had some hint or some mentality that today was going to be good and green. And even aside from that though, you see a lot of big transactions that did occur. Anything with a bid is a sell, anything with a ask is a buy. So big money definitely is loading and was loading the boat yesterday. As far as dark pool, we had one big one yesterday, so 6.4. So if you're one of those individuals that likes to believe and follow big money, definitely they were buying Opendoor yesterday. As far as today on the dark pool, these are some of the transactions that have occurred so far. So a couple during the pre-market, nothing significant over 1 million just yet. But again, I think just based on this, people's appetite for risk is going to be increasing. There really hasn't been that much in news associated to Opendoor, no SEC filings, nothing really crazy to bring up from Kaz or other members. During the pre-market, shorts are increasing about 13,000 shares. So not doing that much. 14.18% of the free floats being shorted, works to be 110 million shares overall being shorted. Depending on how today does play out, if there's some news or some relevant topics, I can do a PM video, so drop a comment if you would like that. But I just wanted to kind of pop on, go over some key levels. And so for right now, with it at 677, it is trading between this pivot and this S1. So 649, 620 is going to be kind of support levels. For today, I think it's fair to assume that the 620 is going to be off the table, but 649, definitely watch for that one just in case. And then 696 followed by 742 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. And realistically, I feel that Opendoor should really move higher. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. Sometimes what happens with Opendoor, once the market does open, you have a extreme move in either one direction. No different than yesterday, had a quick pop higher, and then the day prior it just went down. So I think just Opendoor does have a lot of volatility, but you can kind of see a very clear trend that is starting to build with it really moving higher. But aside from all of that though, on the actual chart itself, it is still wedge bound between that 10 and also 100-day moving averages. So that 10 is sitting at 697, which kind of matches with that fib level. Aside from that though, you have that 100-day moving average sitting at 652. So in general, pretty good stuff. As far as today, you see a lot more willing buyers, so that's definitely a positive thing. Nothing really substantial for news or anything along those lines. Clearly some articles bringing up how potentially big money and hedge funds are starting to buy. As I kind of indicated, there was some very abnormal transactions that did occur. Still, nothing really crazy for analyst ratings. So I think just once Opendoor does really prove themselves, and with their upcoming earnings, which most likely will be in late January, early February, this is where you'll see some notable names possibly giving some very bullish ratings. So we'll have to kind of wait and see, but I think Opendoor should be a pretty solid stock all around today. But again, we all know how volatile it truly is. So if you believe in it, dollar cost average, swing trade, do what you need to do. But I wanted to kind of pop on, go over some of those abnormal transactions, and there's about 2 minutes left in the trading day, and it looks like we are having a little bit of a push lower, but we'll have to kind of wait and see how that does play out. For the rest of the day, there's not really that much in kind of news. There's a couple of Fed speakers, but that is pretty much it. We do have Micron earnings after hours as well, so depending on what they give for future guidance, that also could cause some volatility, because we had Broadcom and also Oracle put out pretty iffy future guidance, and the tech and AI stocks got really messed up by that. So just watch for that. But nonetheless, let me know your thoughts on Opendoor. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And then one final thing, pop over to my stacked account if you're looking for some on-point buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.